Once again, Slick and Shiny Tongue-in-Cheek Productions brings you another look at Irwin, Pennsylvania, as things existed there in the past. And we'll see such surprising things as trolley cars and maybe even airplanes. The railroads pretty much had a good corner on the transportation industry for quite a while, for about 50 years in Irwin, in and around, until around 1900. Trolleys started to show up. With the advent of electricity, the trolley cars came along. Now this scene was on Pennsylvania Avenue. This was the car barn. These were the this was a place where the cars went at nighttime after they were done working. Now that shows when it was in business and working. This shows the car barn now. It's still there. Maybe I can show you it in context, okay? This is on Pennsylvania Avenue. This is a building that was once a Atlantic gas station. Down here is the house built in 1836 by John Irwin. And right here is the old car barn. Obviously it's been repurposed. So we can understand that there used to be trolley tracks going right down Pennsylvania Avenue. Bob Orth gave me this one. It shows what is now a corridor for electric wires. This had once been the right-of-way for one of the trolley lines. There were more than one trolley line going into Irwin. I'm going to show you that using this map. This is a map going back to around 1915, but it shows Brush Creek. The red line is the railroad going through. The green line is the turnpike going through, or the old Lincoln Highway. Now what I'm going to do is show you how things changed when see these purple lines were the trolleys came through. They were going out in a good number of directions. Maybe I can make that more clear for you. See, this is Greensburg over here, Irwin, and then this is in the way into Pittsburgh. These were all trolley lines going out from Irwin. You can see it was well served by trolleys. Different lines. And around 1919, we can see some competition for the trolleys showing up. The automobile type things, you know, internal combustion engines started to be a big thing to drive vehicles like the bus. This was the first bus that came into Irwin. By the 1930s, the trolley had to compete with not just the buses, here's a bus back here, but the growing volume of automobiles. Really, they were the thing that put trolleys out of business, because everybody wanted their car. And since everybody had a car, they didn't have to ride on the trolley anymore. And by the 1950s, trolley service in Irwin came to an end. Now we can look down from the air and see Irwin. This is the railroad coming through that really was the origin of the place. This is where John Irwin originally laid out his town, right along the what was the turnpike going through. And over the years, a number of things happened here. You can see the density of population, how it increased over the years. Now what I want to point out is this area up here. It's an elevated area a bit above Irwin. And because of its altitude, it was good for a landing strip for airplanes. This is a bit closer look at it. This is John Irwin's original town over here. This is the landing strip area up here. It's now a housing development, but the streets called McDonald Drive and Kelso Drive were once upon a time airstrips. And not just airstrips, but they participated in an experiment in mail delivery in the 1930s. And this came about because of a local dentist, a guy named Adams, Dr. Adams. He developed, pioneered, invented, among other things, a system to pick up mail by airplanes and to also leave off the mail that way. This is Dr. Lytle S. Adams, the inventor of the airmail system by which airplanes could pick up the airmail without even landing. This fellow here is Eddie Gerber. He was a pilot in the system. This was at the Chicago World's Fair, I think 1939, when this system was being advertised. This shows you the system in operation. A plane having come and snagged a bundle of mail up at the Irwin Airport. This is probably in the 1950s, judging by the vintage of this car, when the airport up there was being converted into a housing development, which it is now. There may be people looking at this right now who actually live up there. This was the house where Dr. Adams lived. It was at 1911 Pennsylvania Avenue and still there. And he was a local dentist and also a fellow with an inventive mind. He did other things. I mean, besides his mail pickup system, he invented other useful kinds of contraptions, ideas. And we're coming to an end of this one. There will be another one on Irwin. And we want to say so long. Along with Porky, we say, that's all, folks. We'll see you again. Bye now.